Yo! Blazing fire. Yeah, man, this is Ras out of Belize. And the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. Right? Yeah, man. We blaze fire, burning the wicked and the dirty vampire. Yeah, man, Ras said that. Blazing fire. Lion, boy!
The time has come for the lioness to tell her own story.
Yo, this is Pagabens and time have come for the lion to tell them own story. This is the Lion's Voice. Stay tuned.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Ras Tafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice. Ras Tafari.
Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use yet an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Ras Tafari, the lion's voice.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up lamb's voice. Now put it, I Jollifer said that.
Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, ya. Them fully guard up and them quick fi execute, ya. Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, ya. The one will laugh, I'm same one of the shooter. Watching them, this is Ras Tafari representing for the Lion Voice Network. This is the time when the lion gets to tell our own story. Haile Selassie.
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the lion voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Oh, yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.
This is culture sound, a Rastaman sound, positive sound.
Culture sound system with DJ Culture Fire TG.
And now you're in tune to the culture sound, Rasta sound.
Culture sound, because I'm DJ Culture Fire TG.
I help coming from the true living eyes, Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First, who created Zion and earth. He shall not suffer and I foot to be moved. I hold, he that keepeth Ethiopia shall neither slumber nor sleep. Well, youths in the streets right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. One bad police right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. No justice, no peace right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. The fire now cease right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. The youths them rise against brutality, man a kill another man for your salary. Them train them at the shooting gallery, black and loot, you might lose all your family. Them defend white supremacy, so them see the African as them enemy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say culture sound
like this for centuries, them sick mentally. That's why we have the out in the streets right now. Riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. One bad police right now.
What do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Light to the world. King of kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. Elected himself. Hey yo, yeah, hear them high, hear the black king on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your life. From Ancient time them a try. Them Romans now them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi. They stole my people. Then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill. The lion will come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, I strive, see sufferation, I still rise. That's why we tell them, in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them, in a Toronto, straight at Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie the First. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bonsu, aka the Dejazmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man. I'm a creative industry attorney. I'm an author. I'm an artist. I'm an actionist. And right now, I am the host of Lion Voice Live. Welcome to the Lion Voice Network and welcome to Lion Voice Live, our newest show on the network where we go live to share our thoughts and to engage with our audience, the greatest audience on these YouTube streets, the Lion Pride. Big up every Lion Pride out there. We have slowed down considerably, but I would still say we are the fastest growing Rastafari platform on the planet. So big up all of you who are watching, making this, a very joyful ascendancy as a premium world-class Rastafari platform. Rastafari independent, non-aligned media is here, family. Tonight, we're going to talk about something very near and dear to I and I heart. We're going to talk about the Rastafari Creed and in particular, the age protected. For those who are not aware, the Rastafari Creed, as it's practiced by the Nyabingi, but it's really adopted by all of the houses and mansions. The Rastafari Creed is really the hungry fed, the naked clothed, the age nourished, the sick protected. The hungry fed, hungry fed, naked clothed, sick nourished, age protected, infants cared for, and then some of us would say the ignorant educated. And tonight we're going to talk about the age protected, and in particular around that is how are we preserving the legacy of our elders. We just lost Nyabingi matriarch. The whole world is in mourning. The Rastafari world is in mourning right now at the passing of Mama Fire. I just put up her episode. We were blessed here at the Lion Voice Network to record probably her last major interview. I don't know if another interview of that nature exists with Mama Fire. I know she's been interviewed by many international platforms and different things, so I don't know how extensive, but in terms of from a Rastafari perspective, hearing about her uprising as a second generation Rastafari from the Gully Bank in Waterhouse, you hear a journey of when we look at those elders, we're looking at them that have gone through great tribulation for the sake of the faith, where they were criminalized just by existing, and they had to endure the beating, the batter, the this, the that, to bring it to where it is now, which is globally recognized. So the question we're going to be reasoning up tonight is, what are we doing to preserve this legacy? Because we're losing this generation of elders rapidly. I can't keep up, and I'm going to be honest with the item. I'm going numb to all of the passing because it's too much to process. We just lost our Asian Ras Iris here in Washington, D.C. We just lost Jabones in Antigua. Next mighty elder, Mama Fire, passing now. And many more other elders, I could call, who have passed in recent times. And each of these elders is like an archive, a true berry. These are elders who saw His Majesty, in the flesh, who, remember the days when they knew most of the Rastafari people. Before Rastafari had gone international, these elders were trodden. So there is something special. And I always say, I was fortunate enough to be grounded with Rastafari elders, and some legendary elders. So I am probably one of the last generation to get the type of groundation that I was able to receive, where, literally day after day, seated up with these Asians, hearing the stories, repeated over and over again, events after events with these elders, taking them out to grocery, caring for them where we can, doing different things for our elders consistently, and trying our best. We have flaws, and sometimes we fall short of the glory because you have your own family, you have work, you have so many things to do. But this is something I always struggle with as Rastafari adults, is what are we doing for our elders? And I want to reach out to the global family, because this is something that we have to really be intentional about. We're already, I think, behind the ball. And one of the things that we have to understand with preserving the legacy of the elders is that accessibility. One of the things I love about YouTube is that anybody around the world can access it. So the interview or the reasoning I had with Mama Fire, for example, I could also say Baba Duno, the brethren, the elder who said no culture without agriculture. His last interview on the planet was also here on the Lion Voice Network. But what the beautiful thing about these time capsules that are on YouTube is that YouTube is the second largest search engine on the planet. So a small child in Zambia can watch Mama Fire now and hear Mama Fire journey. A little king in Kigali can go and look for Mama Fire. A brethren in a Zambia can look and see Mama Fire and them thing there. So that's why I love the Lion Voice Network, and that's why it's so important to support platforms like this, because I want to do more. I want to be able to travel, because some elders not going to be able to connect with a smartphone and tune in and reason. Some of the elders, them not there, but that doesn't mean what they have to say is not valid. Some of these elders, you have to go up in some bush, take some chad, and go in some garrison. Some of these elders are not easily accessible. So we want to do that work, in terms of documenting some of these stories. And we're going to get to that later. If we're talking about age protected blessing, I have to big up Word Sound Collective, brethren who have been supporting Asians from a long time. I have to talk about the anniversary of development of Rastafari, of which I'm a founding member, who have been dealing with programming
supporting different Asians. Long time. Big up Ras Wayne on the thumbnail. For this, we had a portrait of Ras Wayne um, and Ras Negos and Bongo Rocky. And one of the great works, that was spearheaded by Dr. Ras Wayne at this time was the Elder Medical Project, the IDOR Elder Medical Project, where we provided health care for elders, checkups, screenings, and these things for the elders in Ethiopia who were in Shashamani. So the work of preserving, protecting, caring for Asians is nothing new to I and I, nothing new to the movement, but we have to be more intentional right now, and I think we have to move at lightning speed to really, because we're literally in an era. There's, whatever the tide is that is turning cosmically, ones are just leaving the physical plane. It's just rapid succession. Almost every month, what I mean, we don't get no break, and that's why I say sometimes I feel I'm getting numb to all of the news that's happening, in addition to the geopolitics, in addition to trying to balance your home and the economics and doing works and all of these things. We're navigating this great transition of our Asians, and it's really something, what I mean. So I want to just touch base with the family. We're going to reason on some of the things that we potentially can do to ensure that we preserve our Asians. We want to have that reasoning. Why is it important to preserve the Asians? Testimony. That's another reasoning to have, because some may not see the importance of even preserving the knowledge. We see Rastafari right now is going through a shift. This is the first generation that has to deal with the digital onslaught. No faith right now knows what it's going to look like in 20 years because of the imposition of this digital revolution. All of the retention of the youths them, because the youths them who are affluent enough, who have access, and this is spreading across the world right now, particularly on the continent of Africa, is serious. What I mean? The uptick in digital, what do you call it? Digital natives? What I mean? These youths from them young, they just intuitively scrolling, doing all kind of things. What are we doing to engage these youths? And these youths may not go sit up in the bush and sit up with an elder. What I mean? They may, as they become young adults, seek out the knowledge, and I think it's important for I and I to have that knowledge available for them to gain that wisdom when they're ready for it. Different youths, are different. So, but what they all share in common is that they're on screen. We have to regulate screen time. Every parent hearing my voice know we have to regulate screen time sometime. We have to take away devices. Even from your teenage youth, then you have to take away, you have to micromanage sometime, because they're captivated, and who can blame them? In our time, we had cable TV, the show where you like gone off, or you didn't even have cable. You try to look through some blurry lines to see what go on, and them thing there. And I mean, when the TV don't have what you want, you go outside, you ride your bike. Think about growing up as a child, your frontal lobe not fully developed, and anything you think of, you conceive, you press a button, and it's right there in front of you. Limitless content on that, something where you interested in that moment. Anyone, I mean, we as parents, more time dep on with phone, a scroll and a look and a watch and a this and a that. So the youth them, how much more? So in this environment, it behooves us to be intentional about creating strategies to preserve the anciency of the culture, the grounding, you know what I mean, the groundation. I was just reviewing the interview we did with Janine. If you haven't seen that interview, we released 2 clips. The whole interview is available on Patreon for the Lion Pride on Patreon. Big up on yourself. to the Lion Pride and Patreon. But we have 2 clips that we released. 3rd clip is coming. But the 2nd clip we just released was talking about her groundation on the university campus with Dr. Knife. And, you know what I mean, seating up hours of reasoning, steam chalice, these things. We don't know if that's going to continue, if ones are going to trot up. You know, I've met ones already who embrace the faith not through groundation, but through study and research, you know, reading books, watching videos, doing these things. So even how ones are coming to the liberty is changing, you know what I mean, in this environment, high-tech environment. So how are we being intentional about ensuring that we preserve that ancient liberty? How are we being intentional about making sure that we know the stories, you know what I mean, that we allow ones to tell their own stories. That's why it was so important to do a quick tribute to Mama Fire. We had her son, one of her sons, Bingi Pele. If you haven't seen that live, we spoke to Bingi Pele, and it was an eye-opener, because the brethren was talking about the other side, you know what I mean, of growing up, you know, within a grassroots Rastafari 3rd, 4th generation household, you know, growing up as a youth without birth papers, you know what I mean, not being able to go into school because you don't have the documentation, you know, the opportunities denied because, you know, your parents chose this life and were ostracized from the society, and growing up in the fringes. We heard his testimony. So if you haven't heard that reasoning, you know, it was really compelling, and you could even see some of the brethren frustration at the life, because he wanted to be an architect, he wanted to do all kind of things and couldn't achieve it because he didn't have access. You know, you have to cut your locks, you have to do this. His sister lost a scholarship because she wouldn't cut her locks. So a lot of time we don't think about that side when we look at the elders and the sacrifices they made, and that they you know, that their children had to make as a result of the sacrifices that they made. And, you know, how do we honor their contribution to the movement, their story? You know, how do we take the essence, preserve it, but then at the same time evolve it so that next generation of children don't go through the same lack, you know, because one of the things the brethren, Bingi Pele, open eyes was about a Rastafari school that existed for a time that he was able to attend, that was there, and the struggles that they had to keep the school running. Ultimately, the school didn't last, but, you know, how many of us know that there was a Rastafari school that had, you know, almost 200-300 students in Jamaica, you know what I mean, run by Rastafari brethren and sistren? How many of us know that, you know what I mean? So this is why you hear us on this platform say the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. It's so important. You're not going to hear that on the mainstream news, CNN. You're not going to hear that on BBC. You're not going to hear that on MSNBC. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. I want to give ones a little bit more time to try in. I see the Lion Pride try in name, Dan Coolio. Big up yourself. Hit the like button for Rastafari. Haile. Bless up Ras Kwasi. Bless up yourself, Dan Coolio. Reading Ras Articulative. Ras, yeah, man. All right. Bless up yourself, Dan Coolio. Gain me, family. Bless up yourself. Yes. And family, come in, because we want to have a reasoning tonight about how do we preserve this legacy, you know what I mean? How do we preserve the anciency and then at the same time bring in the modern? You know, embrace the technology, but at the same time ensure that we are preserving that ancient Ayakongo, you know what I mean? That grounding, you know what I mean, with nature, that is so essential. that the elders embodied. You know what I mean? When you are grounded and you survive living on the gully bank, down a water house, them faith they can't be shaken. You know what I mean? That's why the elders them endure so much and were able to break every chain. Rastafari is a multi-million billion-dollar culture right now internationally. The four corners of the globe, when you look at the spread of Rastafari, there's been nothing like this in human history. Not one shot don't fire, not one evangelical, you know what I mean, institution don't establish to go out, go preach the good news of Rastafari, but yet still the faith continues to grow. You know what I mean? We're not seeing as many young people as we would like to see right now, but the faith continues to grow. People are finding Rastafari in their 40s and 50s. You know, I have a brethren I'm reasoning with, one of the Lion Pride and Patreon, just searching the levity coming into the, you know, and is a father with children, you know what I mean? Because as people see the madness and the chaos going on in the world, and they start looking at everything and they start to do their research and their due diligence, they're finding His Majesty, they're finding I, and they're coming. So the faith still is growing, still is spreading, and particularly on the African continent, it's going so far. So this is what I'm saying to the family, is what is our strategy to preserve? And I have some ideas and some sounds that I want to block. But again, I want to recognize all of the institutions that are working on this. You know, I think the number one is the Word Sound Collective, the Wise Mind publication. You have ones like Ras Flacco, other ones, you know, Akashic, you know what I mean, and other ones who have been working, preserving, recording the testimonies of the elders, putting out books and publications, and so crucial, you know what I mean? So I want to big up them brethren for doing that. I want to big up again Idor. I want to big up Dark. I want to big up Tron. All of these are institutions that do whole it for elders and don't publicize it. Yes, you know, me say I need to remember and renew. Yes, I. CMC, the Lion of Judah Society, big up the Lion of Judah Society. So ones are doing the work, but you know, I think we have to become more intentional in terms of how we are preserving. I feel like it's a race against time, because even now I'm looking and just trying to think about which elders can I reason with, you know what I mean, for the platform, so that we can capture them. So, you know, the Almighty forbid anything happen to them. Generations to come will have access, you know, unfettered access to their sounds, you know what I mean? They can, you know, you may not be able to sit at their feet physically, but you can sit at the proverbial feet of these elders by watching, you know, a 2-hour reasoning, hearing them talk about from their birth what they went through, and these are the things that they're choosing to share. So it's so crucial. So saying that, I want to just take time to big up the Lion Pride. If you subscribe, you're part of the Lion Pride. We just hit 28,000 in the Lion Pride. So we are getting enough, you know what I mean? So big up all of the global Lion Pride. You know what I mean? The item don't leave I out, you know what I mean? We are growing, and I just want to big up the Lion Pride. It seemed though that we stuck the Lion Pride on Patreon. We're stuck at 29. We're running our 100 Lion Pride Strong campaign to get to 100, and it seems we're stuck at 29. I want to big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. I want to share. I'm about to do a video for the Patreon people, but I want to share, because Lion Pride on Patreon, we just buy brand new camera. We're getting ready to up the production quality. So we're using the investment to ensure again that how you see us today on the Lion Voice Network. Go forward and look at the first videos, and you will see the improvement. When you look at the StreamYard, for example, and you see the subscribe in the corner, you see our logo at the bottom right there. When you look at the old videos, you'll see a duck. That means we were using the free version of StreamYard. Now we're able to, hold a subscription. All of these things are paid for by the community. I am just a curator of this community, but there's a community that runs this operation, and it's called the Lion Pride on Patreon. So I want the item to know, and also the Action Lion Pride, the Ubuntu Lion Pride. When you hear me call out these names, and some people say, Rust, sometimes the intro them so long, but we have to recognize how this is happening. I mean, we're not asking ones to pay for the content. We're going to be traveling this year. We're going to the continent. We're going to Africa. We're going to be getting some exclusive things going on. So, we have to, just like public radio, if we want to stay truly independent and non-aligned, we have to rely on the community to push this energy. So I'm asking someone to break us from our stalemate. We're at 29 for as low as $5 a month. You can become part of the Lion Pride on Patreon. Bring us to 30 at least. We're trying to hit 100 by April 1st. We're offering free consultations. The ones I've been consulting with them, I'm basically assisting them with building their own platforms, their own creative ecosystems, and it's a lot of joy that we're having, and we're farming up like Voltron, you know what I mean? So you're gonna see me interviewing some of the Lion Pride on Patreon on the platform. I'll be interviewed on their platforms, and the whole concept is that we're not rising by ourselves, you know what I mean? We have again, when we use the word community, when we use the word collective security, it's not just I, it's 100 of I and I, who all have platforms, all have their own motion, doing their own thing, but we are moving in a oneness, supporting each other, etc. So if you want to get that value, where you have a brethren like I to help build your creative ecosystem, and I don't hold back information. Every single something we do, we share it with the family, because again, no one can take Iman blessing. If you look at the early videos, I was confident that we were going to become a big channel from day one, and I'm just getting started. I don't even start tap the network that way there yet. You know what I mean? You're gonna see some guests on here. You're gonna say, "Wow, the rest know the virgin there." Yeah, we know a lot of people we have not even reached out to as yet. I'm waiting to get the quality to a level. So then you're gonna see as the quality rise up, and again, it's all being funded by the community. So big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. Please just join us. You know what I mean? Join the movement. I really want to travel to Jamaica to link with some Haitians and document some of these ceremonies in person. You know what I mean? As some of our Haitians are going through their health issues, it's imperative again that we capture some of these ceremonies so that great grandchildren down the line can watch. A little youth in Kenya can sit up and watch some of our great Haitians tell their life story. You know what I mean? They don't have to look for a documentary. It's all here. So that's where we're going. Big up the Ubuntu Lion Pride. Right now we're raising funds to buy a camera lens. I bought the camera, but once you buy the camera and you're at this level, you find out, say, a lens run the thing, you know what I mean? So, and the lens them sometimes just as expensive as the camera. So, you know what I mean? We are trying to sort out that, you know what I mean? The lens piece. So if you want to contribute to the uprising of the quality, become part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. $70 and above gets you into the Ubuntu Lion Pride. You see, you can get your name on the Serengeti with the lion them. Nice. And my queen always said, let the people know they don't have to go to $70 if you have $5, $10 one time. You can also give an attribution just as part of the Action Lion Pride. And who is the Action Lion Pride? Those are the ones who are like, they comment, they share. Our clip with Dr. Garvey talking about Ibrahim Traore and the uprising in the Sahel is over 1,000 views, and that's because the Action Lion Pride just a share, share, and it's going out there and it's racing. So big up the Action Lion Pride, big up the Watch and Peep, and I'm getting a lot more peepers in the comments starting to join the Action Lion Pride, and I know they're peepers because they come with this low vibration frequency, them a name call. Let me just tell the idea. I'm going to the topic, but let me talk to the people who want to come in the comment section and call people names and call people clown and this and that. It's low vibrational. This is not a low vibration platform. We can disagree respectfully over here, and this is how the Lion Pride is not a yes man factory. We can disagree in the Lion Pride. We have all type of people, but we do it with facts, sources. We do it with respect, discipline, as His Majesty would want, because we're sharpening our swords over here on the Lion Voice Network. So if I see you coming with the low vibration, I may engage you want, but if you can't behave, you're gonna get blocked and banned from the platform because we don't have time. We've been through the season where we give so much time to the troublemakers and the agitators, and then we get thrown off track. So in this hour of the movement, when the troublemaker them come, them just gonna get banned or blocked. If you don't have anything positive to contribute, you're gonna get banned or blocked. And I'm not talking about those who disagree. Again, you can disagree with I, Rasil. I disagree. What you're saying don't make sense, and XYZ, and you can look at this book and that. I love that all day because I don't know everything, and I am a constant student. I never stop being a student. So I love to, I come out of that school. I come out of, HBCU, Howard University. I come out of the Naya Bingi House. These are two tradition of, heavy debate, heavy inquiry. I come out of a firehouse, when it come on to the Naya Bingi House too. So I'm not afraid of fire. You come as a fireman, you have to know what you do. Because as we know, the hotter your fire, the more your liberty better be intact. And if you come on the comment page, I may ask you some qualifying questions before I engage. I may ask you to, show me some of your works or something, because when you come with big talk, on the platform, I'm expecting it to be a big deal. I want to know where me can see the work and know if to deal with you, because if that's not the case and you're just running off your mouth, again, you will get blocked or banned. We don't have time for these people, family. We're in a critical stage, and I'm championing the phrase Rastafari adults. It's time that the Rastafari adults step to the front. Young adults, mature adults. I'm a mature adult now. I can't be a young adult. Young adult is from 20 to 40. 40 to 60, you're a mature adult. After 60, then you become a youth elder. Then you go in your anciency. And yes, you're Asian through the whole time, because a lot of time we call it, each other ancient, and we recognize that ancient I, that divinity within all of us. But I am championing the Rastafari adult. I am championing the Rastafari adult. Why am I championing the Rastafari adult? Because every society is the adults who are responsible to ensure that things get done, that the institutions are built. You don't look to youth to do the responsible things then. You don't look to Asians either. When an Asian or an elder, that's when you're more consult and things. So we need the adults them to step up right now. It's not popular. I'm getting a little bit of pushback from my family, but I'm not gonna stop the Rastafari adult time. We need adults. We need our adults them to take responsibility for the building of this nation. You know what I mean? It's a serious serious thing. All right, so I'm going to read some of the comments and then we're going to get into our topic. How do we preserve the Asians? Dan Coolio said, every chance I get, I spread the word about subscribing to the Lion Voice. Big up yourself, family. I love it. Love up the fams as you enter the den. Like, yes, give thanks, give thanks. They know these are Lion Pride. This is my family. Today is Saturday. Many folks are do road. Yes, and I overstand that as well. And the reason I start doing lives on Saturdays, it's a lot less work for me than to have to edit an episode and upload it on a Saturday. So every other strong. We do have the iDoor study group, and I'm gonna have information how you can join our study group. We have a study group that's been going on for over 16 years now, where we study the words of His Imperial Majesty every other Saturday. So on those Saturdays, I do still upload the episode, but on the alternate Saturday, I'm doing these lives because, again, I can just do the live, it's done, and then people can see it on the replay, and hundreds of people watch the replay. So, give thanks, 17 of us are here live right now, but hundreds more will come in on the replay. But it's just a lot easier for me to do the lives on a Saturday. It frees up my day. I don't have to be home editing. I don't know if people know how much time it takes to edit. That's the thing. Most of my time now, I don't do road anymore. When I go up on the road, people frightened to see me because I'm home most of the time editing. Give thanks to my wife, who's very overstanding and who's dear, my right hand, my producer, making sure everything stays on track. But the lives just help, in terms of the time management. Dan Coolio said, don't address the trolls. They need not any attention. And generally, I agree with I just want to set ground rules, So the expectation is clear from the top how we're going to deal with the trolls, or, because I don't want people to also feel they can't disagree or they have to be a yes person, or, I want to keep that robust. I love seeing the dialogue in the comments where people are reason and, people are share their opinions. I love it. Respect, big up yourself, family. Salute all elders, big up yourself. Welcome to the Lion Voice Network. All right, so these are some of the things I want us to consider. I'm going to hold on one second. I made some notes. Here, so I'm going to share some of my thoughts. I'm going to share some of my thoughts here. All right, so one of the things that we can do to preserve the knowledge of the elders, and I want you to put in the comments anything that you feel can be done, is we have to figure out some programs where we can create intergenerational contacts. You know what I mean? How can we, because a lot of time we look at the elders as a charity. And because we look at it that way, it becomes almost like it's a burden. You know what I mean? We have to figure out ways that we can harness, because they have intrinsic value. These elders have so much to impart. And when they get to this ripe age, they want to just reason, and sometimes anyone who has spent time with the elder know that you're gonna hear some stories, and you're gonna hear the same story told 50,000 different ways. Once you start going, them are going at the stories them, and you're gonna hear stories till you start know them by heart. What we need to do is figure out how we can create programs where these elders can be imparting these stories to young people and make it intentional and in a way that we can monetize the monetization. This is a channel we're not afraid of talking about money. And that's why you see I go into the Lion Pride and the crowdfunding and all of that. And we have to get rid of that stigma in Rastafari. You can't talk about money, or you're more righteous because you don't talk about money. All of that is false concepts, and false. You know what I mean? I saw someone saying, cursing his mind, so his mind to come to America and begging money and military assistance. This was one of the comments I saw under one of the videos. You always know people who, because the platform is getting big in Africa. So some of the Africans are very critical of His Majesty and saying this. And I always say to them, is your concept of divinity, be careful that you don't confuse the Almighty for Superman. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, when they think of the Almighty, they're thinking about Superman, Say, why, if he's the Almighty, why he don't just fly down and destroy the wicked? And that is Superman, family. There's nothing named so, the prophecy or this or that. You know what I mean? The Almighty is still a man with all the limitation that it entails, and His Majesty tell you that. So, of course, you have to find different ways to acquire capital. You know what I mean? And one of them is to make appeals to the people who have the capital. And His Majesty is always trying to do trade, make deals, you know what I mean? Offer something of value to investors, to nation states, you know what I mean? And that's part of being a head of state. And this is, again, the adulting. As a youth, you look at a thing from an idealistic perspective, and the Almighty come and He's supposed to just blink and everything is peace on earth. That's not reality. There's nothing. And remember that even Yeshua, the same criticisms were leveled at Yeshua by the people of the day. If you are such and such, then why the Romans still around the place? You know what I mean? Why is Herod up there, a run off in mouth, and you supposed to be XYZ? And you had to explain to them He come for a specific purpose. So this concept of the Almighty as a sky god, as an all-powerful, no, that is not conception of the Almighty in man that we work with. You know what I mean? What we are working with is knowing that as a man, you know what I mean, he had a role to play in world history. Fully human, fully divine. But the reality is that money has to be in everything, you know what I mean, on this physical plane to make things work. So we have to figure out institutions, whether it be summer camps, whether it be different things where parents can pay, because parents are always looking for programming for their children. And you have a section of that program where the elders are there. The elders are able to impart the wisdom to the youth them. So there's an economic, the elders can make money to provide for their care. They can have a dignity, and they can do what they do best, which is to share the history. And it's not just sharing to people who don't care, but sharing to people who are there for a specific purpose. And that purpose is, you know what I mean, whatever that programming. And as Rastafari, we need to really seriously look at things like summer camps for the youths, them, after school programs, Saturday schools. I grew up in Toronto, Canada, and I grew up in a predominantly Chinese community, Hong Kong Chinese, Cantonese speakers. I saw literally when Hong Kong was getting ready to return to mainland China, there was a mass exodus of capital, went to places like Canada. So my uprising, I saw the Chinese people. I had a whole heap of Chinese brethren. I have a brethren right now live in Shanghai. My thing is a little bit different, you know. My brethren, them are international. That's why I tell you, tell the item that the network is not a normal network. And I mean, I have brethren in big business in Shanghai, where they know from, you know, grade school. So, but the point is, these Chinese youths used to go Saturday school. They used to go after school to learn their language. These youths had all type of programs that they had to go to retain their Chinese culture. They were in a new land, and they had, you know, infrastructure upon infrastructure to ensure that they were excelling academically, but that they were also learning and keeping their culture. And I think as Rastafari adults, this is why I me keep come forward to the term, because who are we gonna look to build these programs? Are we looking to elders to we're going to cuss elders so they've never done no program, no summer camp? That's crazy. You know what I mean? The adults' responsibility to deal with these things and these works. So these are the one thing that I think that can be done to foster that intergenerational reasoning. You know what me say? Adulting, Rastafari ringing, great reasoning, brethren. You see what I'm talking about? You know, we're adults, most of us, gray beard. We can't come and talk about semi youth and my youth. They will look for me like, what are you talking about, Dad? You know what I mean? It don't look right. You know what I mean? So we got to make it work. Experience wisdom, serenity, and a little anger for the youth. You know what I mean? It's a real thing. There's frustration with the youth then because they don't see what Rastafari has done, and most youth that grew up in a Rastafari home associate Rastafari with poverty. We've talked about that on this platform before. They look at their parents struggling and they try to get as far as from Rastafari as they possibly can when they get older. Enough of them youth that are going to return, you know, that's what, you know, the prodigal son will show us that. But remember that enough of them youths, the concept of Rastafari is not positively associated. They're not looking at the doctrine, all of these things that we love about it, and the levity and the way of life and all these different. They're just looking at mommy and daddy. We're struggling constantly. We never have the things them where we want and these things. So we have to be cognizant of these things. You know what I mean? If we don't put these institutions in place, if they don't see the buildings, they can't come at Saturday school and run up and down with other Rastafari children and go to the Rastafari ball where they dress up on the Rastafari prom and the this and the that. Who is going to put this infrastructure in place? Is the Rastafari adults around the world. We have to start come together and put these things together. The summer camp, you know, big up the Ras Cup summer camp in South Africa. That's one of my goals, is to be able to travel to South Africa and document the camp so that, you know, the ones in the rest of the world, we can look at these models. These are the kind of works I want to do with the Lion Voice Network. So if you're not part of the Patreon, make sure you join the Patreon so we can fund these things. My goal is to be full-time in this. I'm going to take a break from the law practice so that we can get the media operation up and running fully. That's the goal, because it's so important. You can't have a vibrant nation of people and you don't have a media arm that's robust and vibrant as well, that's, you know, bringing the information and the news and the content, the cartoons, the this and the that. We have to be pumping out this content for from a Rastafari worldview for our people, if we want to keep that vibrance and we want to keep that vitality. So serious thing. Kwasi, I want to know if that groundation tomorrow at Bull Bay will be broadcast. Okay, let me talk about that quickly, because this is one of the solutions. The Rastafari Mansion and organization, the Harambe Hall, it will be broadcast. Go to iYard Radio on YouTube. This is Dreadlocks, the article Dreadlocks. He's part of the Rastafari Independent Non-Aligned Media Movement. Go to his YouTube channel and subscribe. He'll be streaming all day. iYard Radio, I think that's IYAAD Radio. IYAAD Radio. You know what I mean? And go and subscribe. Dreadlocks, the article Dreadlocks. Again, this is one of our Rastafari Independent Non-Aligned Media partners. There's going to be a fashion show. There's going to be a youth family fun day. So they're going to have youth activities for the youth them to do games and different things. So, you know, one need to just forward out and bless up the place. It's going to be powerful. And the Harambe Hall, again, this is one of the things that we are bringing forward as a solution. You know, just rekindling that Rastafari vibration in Jamaica, with the chanting, the coming together, the town hall, the reasonings, the farmers market, you know, the sacramental exchange. All of these things are part of, you know, just us living our culture together. Because I think we've lost some of that with the hustle and the bustle, with the Dejazmatch and that organization, everything scatter. We have to just bring it in together and just live together and trade together and chant together. And we have an open microphone section. Some artists are going to perform. So all of them things they're so important, you know what I mean? And you saw the flyers at the beginning of the episode. So make sure if you're in Jamaica, all roads lead to Bull Bay, Bob Marley Beach, Big Up Ras Zulu, Sugarloaf, Nyabingi Center. All my Jamaican family, make sure you forward out to the RMO Harambe Hall. Again, this is one of the things that so critical. But yeah, I think we have to create programs, intergenerational program. That's one thing to preserve the anciency. Number two is just prioritizing families to spend time with the elders, you know, once a month, once a strong. If you can, just go check an elder and sit up, you know what I mean? Take a youth them. I need to do a better job. We have elders here. My elders sometimes call me, cuss me, call them not here for my but I try to do my best. I go visit them, you know, when I can, help them clean up any little thing with them have to do, bring them food, just sit up, bask in the wisdom, get recharged, and they will lecture you and make you know, say you, that is when you can feel like a youth now, when you sit up amongst your elder now. That is when you can carry the youth, the title as an adult, when you sit at the feet of the elder. But it's important that part of our liberty for each Ras, because if we do that, then the elders will never be lonely. Because even if you just go once a month, if we have a community of 50 people and everybody's going to check the elder once a month, the elder always have someone to engage. And one of the things as an elder, they need to be engaged. One of the markers of centenarians, bro, I mash up that pronunciation, but people who live to 100. One of the things is community engagement. That's one of the common factors. You know, they have these zones on the earth where people live long, and that's one of the factors is the elders have a lot of social connections, a lot of family, a lot of love, a lot of reasoning. So we have to make sure that we are connecting with our elders through programming, intentional, so that we can monetize and they can make money that again can be reinvested in their thing, and they can have dignity in their age, because they can't go hustle anymore. So we have to create the opportunities for them to make money, monetize their knowledge and wisdom, and then also go and just go check them. The other thing is that we have to be intentional about drawing certain parts of the knowledge from them. The Rastafari language is a good example. Ras Iris, who passed, was one of the founders of the Rastafari language, created words like Irie, Ital, all of these I. A lot of people don't know that when these elders started with this, they were ostracized, criticized by the wider Rastafari community. It was like, what the item I talk about? You know, the man them down a back a wall used to cuss them. Ras Iris used to make we know that they were looked at as, um, very unusual. Now these word sound have become some of the most valuable cultural assets that the family possesses around the world. Um, but these are things when we reason with the elders, we need to preserve the language, the youth, them not using that language like one time, Yes, certain words retain, but there was a whole language when you hear them talking of them Ieric or Ivors or, they have different names for it. I is a whole thing, and these things should be taught. You know what I mean? One of the touching moments for my and I reason with Mama Fire son, Bingi Pele. If you haven't seen that, go watch that reason. One of the touching moments was when he said, as a youth, one of his points of frustration was visiting other Rastafari youths and seeing how advanced they were academically, and realizing he didn't know English very well because he had grown up with Patois and Rastafari language, you know what I mean? Because third generation, fourth generation Rastafari, that's all him here, and then, say Mama Fire them up in the Wissy jungle. You know what I mean, farmers and planting and not too mixing up with Babylon. So that's all as a youth he's exposed to, and realize he didn't know English. He had to learn English, be intentional about learning English. But how many of the youths them where Ras on the internet are find the liberty through music, know the language and the intricacies of the language the other way. We need to preserve it and be intentional, because again, that language has created some of our most potent cultural assets. Irie, what a powerful word sound. There's a whole radio. Yes, family, a little Wi-Fi issue. We're working on that. But yes, we have to be intentional about reasoning with the elders and pulling certain knowledge from them and structuring it in a way that can be preserved and passed down. Because we'll lose a lot if we don't be intentional. We're very loosey-goosey, I find, as a global family. Very, if it happened, it happened. We don't put our resources together to get things done in an intentional way. This is why I big up the institutions I big up earlier, because they have done that. But we need to do a better job of doing that. You know what I mean? One other thing we need to do is create community centers, cultural centers, where the elders them can just come and gather. I put on my covenant in Washington, D.C., where we had a Naya Bingi house. This was a house that any time of day or night you could visit this house, and the elders were there. Some elders and some people were there, reasoning, grounding. You never knew who was going to pass through from where. It was always something going on. Pot a bubble on the stove. Eyes is a chanting on the basement. I'm talking any time of day or night. Things, it was a vibrant house. People lived there. Mama Bubbles lived there for a time. Others lived there. You know what I mean? It was a real community setting, and you need spaces like that, community centers where you have accommodation for elders. They can be there, taken care of amongst the community, so that when community come, they come and they see the elders them there and preserve there. So I think that's something we need to make more effort. Rastafari community centers. Do the item know about any Rastafari community centers anywhere on earth? Let I know, please. Any sound? Does anyone know? Put it in the chat. Greeting to all of I worldwide. Big up Palm J every day. Lion Pride on Patreon. Checking it. If you have not subscribed to Palm J every day on YouTube, subscribe to the Brethren channel. The Brethren have a powerful story coming from Liberia, escaping the civil war, bodybuilding champion. The intro alone on his channel is worth the subscribe. You just have to click the subscribe button. The Brethren top editor. He's one of the brethren that we're consulting with. So I'm honored to be able to help him to grow his channel. We'll interview him on this platform when he's ready as well. So go check out Palm J every day. Subscribe to the brethren. We're not trying to hug nothing, because we're a lion. So all of the love where we get over here, we are share it out, because we want to see a nation rise. Not just not just one or two. We want to see the nation rise and thrive. We have an abundance mindset over here. So we love to share. Big up yourself, Palm J every day. Make sure you subscribe. Incense say, what do I think when European taught Jamaican patois with real cultural respect and honor? I think that, one of the things that you find when you Ras is that most ones who come into the Liberty try to talk some level of patois. It's very rare you see anyone who are tried Rastafari that don't try to talk patois, because Jamaican Rastafari have been so dominant in terms of spreading Rastafari around the world. I enjoy when people just talk how they talk regularly. As I say, I grew up in Toronto. I didn't grow up in Jamaica. But in Toronto, we talk patois. And it's not, I don't try to sound any way. My brethren, them were Jamaican. We were all diaspora, and we listened sound clash and dancehall, and that was just how we grew up. So I think people should just be themselves and just talk how they talk, and because that's the vibrancy of the Liberty. Unity does not mean uniformity. That's one of the chants on this channel. We want everyone, because there's strength in that diversity of thought, and every nation bow, every tongue confess. So just be yourself. Every time, I think people should just be themselves. But we are continuing. Community centers, that's what I was wanting to say. We need more community centers. And Ras Maisha, big up yourself, checking in. Ras Maisha is a brethren from Pittsburgh who used to come to the Bingy house. So I know what I talk about. I know them man from that's over 20 years ago. But the fact is that we had a house that people could just come to. So it made the network stronger. And we don't, at least in America, there are very few. Big up North Carolina Rastafari Union. They just, they bought a piece of land and they built a tabernacle. We're going to be going down there to visit them shortly too. So, there are some ones who are building, but it needs to be standardized. We need physical structures. It's not enough anymore just to have the Irish in our events. We need to own land, build centers, those structures of permanence. Our youths, them need to see these things to respect the Liberty on the level that it needs to be respected. We need to see touchable health center, daycare, primary school, all of these little things where from a Rastafari perspective is very important. You know what I mean? Kwasi, make sure when you take time off your professional job, it don't leave a strain on your family. No, brethren, I know that. You know what I mean? I tell my clients, never leave your day job until you're ready. You know what I mean? Now you have to make some sacrifice, but at the same time, you have to balance. His Majesty said that a leader sometimes will sacrifice sleep, but he's never impetuous, meaning that you're not just impulsive or just running out there on a hope and a dream. Right now, my YouTube channel is monetized, so we're generating money from the channel, but it's nowhere close to enough to sustain a family. You know what I mean? So I still have to work a full-time job as a man. And this is why I use the term Rastafari adult, because as an adult, you have to make hard choices. I would love to and if I was in my 20s, I probably would just go hard and try push until we make it. You know what I mean? But I don't have that luxury. My youths are getting ready to go college. My daughter, I have to spend money this summer for programs and these things. So, we have school fees. So I don't have that luxury of just dropping everything to do what I'm passionate about. But I am passionate about it. And that's why I always appeal to the family to support the Lion Pride on Patreon. My goal is 1,000 people at the $10 level in the Patreon so that I can be full time. So you see, I'm far away from there. I'm starting with the 100 because to reach 1,000, you gotta start with the 100. You know what I mean? So that's why you see I push this goal, and we're gonna be doing different things to try to boost that number. But no, I give thanks for the eye concern, Brother Paul, but I would never leave my full-time job and put that strain on I'm not gonna mash up my marriage because I try follow my passion and my dream. Again, and this is a good lesson for brethren while we're here, to balance. Make sure that you have the income coming in to sustain the family and to contribute to hold your masculine frame while you're doing what you're doing. Just means you have to work harder. I have about 3 or 4 jobs because I'm doing this full-time, almost the channel. I have my full-time job that pays the bills, and then I have my community work, which is also take up a lot of time, and then I'm a father and a husband. So you have to just balance everything. But as Majesty say again, a man must take on more than he can do, or he never knows, than he can possibly do, or he'll never know what he can do. So we do that, and we have seen the fruits. As we say, we've seen the growth. My dream and my vision is to be full-time doing the content creation, to build a production studio on the continent of Africa, doing news programs, documentaries, cartoon, and we're gonna see it. And that's the beautiful thing about this journey, is that I them get to watch the journey. I want everyone in the Lion Pride, go forward when you get a chance and watch the first video on the channel, because I keep all the videos. You'll see the mistakes. You're gonna see me low energy, just because you just start, and over time you see the improvements. So I encourage everyone here who is watching, just start. Don't be afraid. Whatever your vision, your dream is, that His Majesty call you to do for the kingdom, just start. I was called to do this work. Remember, I'm an artist, I'm an author, I'm whole heap of thing, but I had to do this work because my sister said it don't exist. The platform that's gonna appreciate love you don't exist. So you need to create the platform that would appreciate love of brethren like the I. And as an actionist, if I don't see it there, I'm gonna build it. So that's what I'm doing. That's what the item are witnessing. This is a historic move for Rastafari as well. And we're not even, we're getting ready. I think 3 years on YouTube consistently, but we haven't even scratched the surface of where this platform is going to go, and the item are going to see it. You know what I mean? From the ground. So let me know, family, because I'm not gonna be on here all night. This is not Wednesday. We're not doing the 2 hours. We just a touch in, but the passing of Mama Fire, our great beloved Naya Bingi Matrap, made me say, you know what? Let me just come talk to the family about preserving our elders' legacy. What are we doing? I was so overjoyed to know that we were able to reason with Mama Fire, and that reasoning, which the repost that I reposted now has over 1,000 views, lives on forever. So a little youth in a Sierra Leone, can watch that. A little baby in Botswana, can have that playing in the background while them crib. A parent can put on Mama Fire voice and listen to Mama Fire. She live on forever, because we were able to get that reasoning. And I want to get a lot more of our elders before they transition. So it's going to take a community effort. So if you want to support us in this work, join the Lion Pride on Patreon. It's something touchable that you can do to move this movement forward. Because a lot of time, brethren and sisters feel helpless. What can we do to move Rastafari forward? They feel frustrated of the lack of progress. One of the things you can do, a brethren wrote and told me he was in, I think, Kentucky or one of them things as a lone Ras. One of the things you can do is join the Patreon, build community, join community, help us to build. So when we are a multi-million-dollar company and employing Rastafari people all over the world with a first class, you can say, I was there before the platform had 30,000 subscribers. I was there. Akashik tell me, say, Ras, I was there before he hit 100 subscribers. Now he's here. And we're at 30,000. You know what I mean? So this is something touchable that you can be a part of, that you can be proud of. As you can see, we have almost 1,000 pieces of content on the platform. No mix-up. You know what I mean? We don't chase controversy. We're not into the foolishness. We're not into the back and forth. We don't get involved with gossip and what people are do and this person and do that to that. This is not that platform. We are here highlighting the glory of ourselves, the best of us, of ourselves, so that we can remind ourselves of who we are and what we represent, and we can see that power. Because Rastafari, we have to remind ourselves to who we are sometimes. Because you get bogged down in the hustle of the day-to-day, and you forget, say, you are the sons and daughters of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Selassie the First. They can't fathom remember all of the different Pan-African Black Power organization. They don't understand how Rastafari just keep growing, and them come amongst when we don't look organized, but the thing does, none of them can make music like we and culture like we, and that's because that divinity is within us. It pours out of our pores, but we have to remind ourselves who we are. We have to now buckle up our shoes, buckle up our belt and get to work, roll up your sleeves and get to work, arm in arm. We got to invest in the things that we want to see. No one is coming to save us, family. This revolution, it has to be funded, self-funded. Yes, and give thanks again for the advice. Big up yourself, Rasta Roots Life. Give thanks for your works. All houses need to support your works. And I will say, all houses have been supporting the work, not financially, but if you look at the guests that we've had Bobo Shanti, we've had Naya Bingi, we've had 12 Tribe, we've had Orthodox, we've had EWF, everyone in the Rastafari sphere of influence, has been on the platform. So, it's supported in that way, and the viewers are from across the spectrum of those same houses. But what we need to do now, family, is to spend the money. Not just on I want the item to join the Patreon, but when I bring guests and they share their information, we have to be intentional about spending money with them. We got to circulate the dollar. So one of the things I want us to do is, put aside a savings. You know what I mean? If it's 10%, ideally everyone should work up to 10%. We don't tie it into a church, but we should tie it into the movement. Melchizedek order, that's Melchizedek is where the tithing come from. And Melchizedek, according to the history, was an Ethiopian, or the father of the Ethiopians, however you want to look at it. But we have to tie it into ourselves. So, if you're making all of this money, you get a paycheck, put aside some money so you can come into the Lion Voice at a $10 a month. That shouldn't kill you or hurt you. And then when a guest come, you can once a month buy something for $10-20 from a guest who appears on the platform, and you'll be doing great things for the movement. If we have 10,000 people doing that, which is less than almost a third of the subscribers doing that, imagine the impact that we have. If I had 10,000 people in the Patreon, we're good right now. We have a full-scale operation or run. If 10,000 people purchase a project from someone who appears on the Lion Voice, now we've provided seed capital for a business. We've launched, we've helped someone. So that's how I think about the platform, and that's why I'm willing to pause my legal profession work to do this, because to me this is the most important thing right now that we can do, is to organize our audience. Because regardless of the product or service that we have, if you don't have the audience and you're relying on third-party audiences or platforms to get out your message, then you're way behind. Latino have them television, Turkey have them. Look at any community on the face of the earth, they have their media, they have their platforms. So if we don't have that where we can reach our audience, then we are way behind. And this is why we step out like this. But I don't want to stray too far. The topic was the elders, and to support the elders, we will need economics. But what are your ideas in terms of preserving their legacy? Put them in the comments. We have to save ourselves, And the elders preserving their knowledge and wisdom and understanding is part of what we need to do to save ourselves. The elders know where to step, where not to step, and their value is beyond measure. There is no price that can be put on the wisdom that they bring to the table. So we want to send our condolences to the family of Mama Fire, family of Jabones, family of all who have passed, all who are going through great tribulation right now. Our prayers are with the item. Let us rally. The time is nigh, but we are strong and we are plenty. We are many, and we are confident in the victory of good over evil. So family, drop in the comments your thoughts on preserving the legacy of the elders. This strong, we're going to be dropping our episode with Tippy, I Grade. We're going to be dropping clips from John 9. We have so much content in the chamber. We're getting ready for a special Battle of Ottawa episode with legendary filmmaker Haile Garima. We're going to be dropping that episode with our elder Haile Garima, who is currently working on the Battle of Ottawa Part 2 about the Italian invasion in 1935, called the Black Lions. We're going to talk to him. Controversial statements in there. He's a man that's very critical of the emperor, but is one of my teachers. So we had a very black reasoning. I can't wait to share that with the Ras Tafari family. We have a reasoning with Jerry Small, We have so much in the chamber for come down to release to the family. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the platform. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. Ras Tafari Independent Non-Aligned Media is here and we are rising. Why? Because the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. And this is the lion's voice.
Yo! Blazing fire, yeah man, this is Ras out of Belize. And the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. Right? Yeah man. We blaze fire, burning the wicked and the dirty vampire. Yeah man, Ras say that. Blazing fire, lion boy.
The time has come for the lioness to tell her own story.
Yo, this is Pagabens and time have come for the lion to tell them own story. This is the lion's voice. Stay tuned.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Ras Tafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice. Ras Tafari.
Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use yet an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Ras Tafari, the lion's voice.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lamb's voice. Now put it, I jolly for say that.
Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, yeah. Them fully guard up and them quick fi execute, yeah. Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, yeah. The one will laugh, I'm same one of the shooter. Watching them, this is Ras Tafari representing for the Lion Voice Network. This is the time when the lion gets to tell our own story. Haile Selassie.
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to Lion Voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice.